It's Thursday, so we must be live.
We are.
It's not doing it. Hold on, let me try it again. Hold on, everybody stay still. This is the thing of going live. Oh, you know what I did? Never mind what I did. The fun of going live, Magic Will, the fun of going live. Folks, my name is Kurt. I'm here with Magic Will Middleton. We'll be here for the next hour or so discussing any questions that you have. We call this an Ask Me Anything call, and that's because that's what we're inviting you to do. Jump into the comments, jump in with us live. If you have questions about WordPress, more specifically using LifterLMS with WordPress, we would love through screen shares, through coaching, through whatever, to get you to the next step of whatever your decision needs to be. And before we go too far, I am going to put in our comment section here, I'm going to paste in the link. There is a promotion that we have, which is 55% off if you choose to make a LifterLMS decision. And that would be right here at lifterlms.com/AMA-gift/AMA-gift. And it looks like we've got some people live. So folks, if you're live, put in a comment. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and let us try and help you. And with that, a big yawn from Will. Apparently, I'm not exciting enough to bring people to the show.
100%. I'm like not even here. I'm just kidding. I woke up about 15 minutes ago. But yeah, I'm ready to talk about LifterLMS. I'm working on a Buddy Boss site. That was right in the microphone. Let me turn that gain down. I hope that didn't peak for you, my audio. It sounded bad in my ear. But I'm working on a Buddy Boss site. We're going to get ready to deploy the app. And it's actually really interesting to go through the process of being like, okay, we've got our Buddy Boss theme installed. We got the Buddy panel. We got just all the courses in there. It's like, what do we have to do to turn this into an app? And I like how the process isn't actually like super hard. I think they charge like $180 a month or something like this for this app. Something like that. Don't quote me on that pricing. But then you get access to this testing thing where you can test in developer mode on your iPhone. You can test on Android. Like you can really build these mobile apps and then get your licenses for Apple and Google Play Store and deploy it. So that's actually like really cool. I'm having a good time with that.
That sounds pretty cool, man.
What are you up to?
Well, I was just the last person to speak on the WP Tonic show before I had to bail off and get on this call. I think the show's still going. We were talking about all kinds of weird stuff on the show today. So it's interesting to me to see where people's focus can be. Like sometimes you see people in the WordPress space and you'll see most people are happy or completely unconnected. Like they use the software, it's open source, they use it, they've got a website, and now they're looking, like in our case with LifterLMS, they're looking for tools to increase the functionality of their website, either through membership or course development or e-commerce or something like that. And then there's a bunch of people that turn the other cheek and want to be part of the community. And then it's almost like being part of a big church. Either you're on the volunteer team and you're super happy, or you're on the volunteer team and you're critical of the people that get paid, or you're just not happy, right? And it's really weird to have all those different conversations. And I try to extricate myself from the negative side of that and focus back on, for 10, 12 years, I successfully built WordPress websites as an agency without even being part of the community. I didn't even know the community existed at the level it does. And I was happy. It's like ignorance is bliss. I just used the software, used the product, and it was awesome. So sometimes people think about the project more than the product, and some people think about the product more than the project. But it's been very interesting this last week for me to hear different feedback from different people in different regards.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the community of WordPress is awesome. And if you hadn't worked with it before, you can get involved with Kurt's Hutchinson, Kansas meetup if you're around that area.
Yeah, that would be I'm taking some of the questions out of the when you register to be part of the webinar today, you get the option to add questions before the show. And someone put in a question that kind of makes me laugh. It's like a be careful what you ask for question. Will, you'll like this one.
Yeah. Real quick, Jonathan Alcock asked, "What's the app called?" It's Buddy Boss. It's a tool for that.
Yeah, and they have that done for you app service, right?
Yep.
Yep. Person be one of you.
Oh yeah.
Be careful what you ask for.
I think if you want to start being like her, you have to first shave your head, get a goatee, learn how to ride bikes like motorcycles, competitively, and also be very interested in charcuterie and cooking, dogs, outdoor biking. No, but to become a member of the LifterLMS team, usually members of the LifterLMS team are pretty active in the LifterLMS community. So my recommendation is just to start making content and answering questions about LifterLMS. A lot of people who ask this question aren't looking to put in like a ton of work and be like, yo, do I want to spend like 100 200 hours of like free time just making videos and posting answers to people? They're not interested in doing that piece of it. But if you are interested in doing that piece of it, that's really how you make a name in the community, make a name in the Facebook group, build clients, and then like get into the company. That's like the best way to do it.
Yeah, Will, you nailed so much of that on the head, man. It is think about, I got 5 years of podcasting as Mañana No Mas. I think I'm on 3 or 4 years working with you guys here at Lifter directly. And that's a lot of extra stuff. Like there's stuff like being part of the podcast or the LearnCast or any of those things. And then, I outreach with WP Tonic on their show. I participate in Facebook groups. I know that you've been a WordPress contributor, and now I can officially say that I am too, Will. I am in the WordPress Slack and added to the training team. And now we're making like thumbnails for the new courses that are coming out on their academy. They're like, it doesn't stop. So when someone says, how can a person be one of you? I say, just get involved. Just get involved. Join a WordPress meetup. Maybe you're not running it, but maybe you are participating. You're answering questions in their Facebook page or in their meetup page. You're participating, you're adding value. Join a couple of groups in Facebook. LifterLMS has a really aggressive Facebook page, works really well for folks coming in. We're real open. We welcome everybody in there, and I just get involved. And as you get involved, like anything else that is of quality, it takes time and effort. And so over some time, you'll start to see that, you'll get that recognition and you'll get some exposure, and then hopefully have a chance to really add some value.
Yeah, for sure.
Zach wants to know if I make hot dogs, because you said cooking dogs, like hot dogs.
Did I say cooking dogs?
Well, no, it's just you spoke without punctuation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, cooking dog. Oh, you gotta like cooking, comma, dogs, comma.
Cooking, comma, dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything I say is one sentence my whole life. But yeah, it's just one run-on sentence. But yeah.
Yeah. Zach, thanks for coming to the call, man, and participating. It's good to see you here. Do good work in the ecosystem, be involved, and that's likely the easiest path. Get to a WordCamp, shake some hands, meet some people face to face, go to a couple of after parties, and people would say, well, that sounds crazy. It's not crazy. The moment that I stepped out of my comfort zone and I got out of my little agency office, helping onesie twosie clients here and there, and I started to like go to meetups and go to WordCamps, that's when it seems like opportunity just kind of opened itself. It's a really good path to be on. And Zach says that punctuation does matter, even when it's spoken will.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a couple of other questions here. And Stephanie, I do see your question, so I'm going to get to you in just a heartbeat. I've got another one from, I'm going to say his name is Shepo. I think the T is silent. He has a long one in here. It says, I need to have more knowledge and guidance, if not skills, how to become a successful entrepreneur. So can LifterLMS provide me with more of the skills they are offering and extend until I reach my goal? I want to be like super blunt. Is it okay if I'm blunt, Will? You okay if I do this every now and then?
Yeah.
LifterLMS is a learning platform. They provide a product, right? So when we think of it in the bare bones terms of what it is, we supply a product. You take advantage of that product, whether it's the free version or you say, man, I'm all in and I'm going to do the Infinity Bundle. However you decide to get started, it's a product first and foremost. And then we do give you unbelievable support on using that product. And through that unbelievable support, you'll even see, like in the academy, we have things like how to get your first 25, paying students, how to grow different things. We have the LearnCast that we do. There's a lot of supporting content there, but I want to be super specific. Even if you're an Infinity member and you come to the weekly mastermind office hours call that we do every week, where people talk and talk about marketing, product, we talk about all kinds of stuff. There's still not that like one-on-one business entrepreneur leadership coaching that I feel that your question might be asking. And so I don't want to put out an expectation that's incorrect. I would welcome you to go to the LifterLMS.com page and click on the upper menu and you'll see a link for Academy. We're going to put that link into the chat so that people can go to it directly. But that Academy has an unbelievable amount of resources in there. And then, of course, our knowledge base has a super, super dense piece of learning to it. Do you think that's a full enough answer, Will?
Totally.
So I think it's important to note that we don't just talk about the product or the software itself all the time. We are very open to, that is not how that works. Let me go and change some of that. There we go. So we're very, very open to talking about other things, but first and foremost, we do focus on product. It's a product first kind of thing. Our goal is always to reduce friction for the end user, for the student. And then, of course, we do add content in the Academy that helps agencies and business owners, course creators promote their content. But it's not a one-on-one coach training situation.
Yeah, I want to highlight one thing. Your shirt on frame says, I'm writing to fight kids. That's the punctuation matters again. It says kids cancer, and I know that, but most of what's in frame is I'm writing to fight kids.
I signed up again, Will. This will be my 7th year.
Okay, well, congratulations. That's awesome.
So this year, I picked a modest goal. I'm going to ride 300 miles in the month of September, trying to raise money for the Great Cycle Challenge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do it because last year was a bust with the move. Like I moved in September and it was a bust. Like I had a horrible experience. I didn't meet my goal and I was down on myself and I said, I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm getting too old and fat. And then they sent me this wonderful email this year, which I know was automated, that said, oh, it's your 7th year. This is a benchmark moment. And then I was like, crap, I can't just stop. I got to keep going. So I'm in it for another year.
Nice. Yeah.
Boom. I know we got some questions in the links. Do you want to pull up a question?
Yeah, sure. Jonathan in chat says, does your ukulele educator still join us on here? Well, not on here. The pre-sales call has changed a bit. That's what we're in now. We've gone into live stream mode, but we do like an hour and 45 minutes from now, we'll start office hours, which is the Zoom call that we do. Where it's including the Infinity Bundle for anyone who doesn't know. Like Kurt said, LifterLMS goes above and beyond just the technology in the back end of WordPress. We have like the graphics pack and we have a mastermind call we do every week. So we have some other additional resources. So as part of that group Zoom mastermind call, it's where like a bunch of LifterLMS power users and people who create sites join in to ask and answer questions and just kind of hang out. The ukulele educator does join us from time to time. Kind of like spotty little rare, like maybe like once every 3 months we see his face pop up.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
But yeah, let's see what other questions I got.
Well, we got Stephanie Shaver in here, and Stephanie's asking a big topic, and that is how easy is it to upload SCORM files from another LMS? And I think the way the question's worded, some people might have a misunderstanding of what SCORM is. And so a lot of people don't even know what SCORM is. Stephanie, I'm going to be honest with you. Most people on this call aren't even going to know what SCORM is. So I'll give like a quick little, and then that. So SCORM is a zip file. When it's done, is a zip file of lots of files that work together to make a more interactive learning experience. Some people might use a tool like Articulate 360 or Captivate to generate these SCORM packages. We call them SCORM packages. And some people, mostly executives in an enterprise framework, will mistake these SCORM packages as being like animated PowerPoints. And at the most simplest level, they could be animated PowerPoints. But SCORM is amazingly powerful in how it presents learning content and how it can create a more interactive learning path for the student. So there's a lot of things to consider with SCORM. And if you're a course creator and you really want to go to the next level, you could take a look at some things like Articulate 360. You could look at Captivate, or if you're just getting started with interactive material, maybe you want to look at open source projects like H5P first. Now, that all said, the SCORM file is not necessarily from another LMS. So the SCORM file is a zip file. It's a zip package. And so that zip package can be put into multiple frameworks to operate, and we can put it into LifterLMS. So we have a course that we just put out last week on SCORM courses. So I think I have the link in chat already. Here we go. Put it up on the screen for you. Our newest course is on SCORM, and it's how to optimize SCORM in your WordPress site. We use a tool in this particular course called GrassBlade. There are multiple tools out there that you can use to put SCORM content into your website. I have personally sampled about 10 of them. The one that I find to be most consistent with the least amount of headache is GrassBlade. And so GrassBlade is a paid third-party plugin. You buy access to that. It is a per site license. You add that to your LifterLMS instance in WordPress, and then you're able to upload that SCORM material. If you take that course, Stephanie, you'll see that there's all different ways to display the SCORM material. In fact, I think there's more freedom in the WordPress framework to play with SCORM than there is in some purpose-built, custom LMS sites. So when you see kind of the content that's in that course, hopefully you'll be like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Like, you can open SCORM in a new tab. You can open SCORM in a Lightbox. You can open SCORM within the website. You can put that SCORM package in WordPress. You can put it on any page you want. It doesn't have to be tied to a lesson or a course or something like that. And so, in fact, on my own website, manananomas.com, I have a SCORM course there that actually talks about using SCORM material at another level, like for marketing purposes, for lead magnets, for things like that. Because in WordPress, you have the freedom to use that content on any page within your site, not just, some old custom built, very expensive website that's very specific. And she says, okay, cool. She'll check out the course. That's awesome. Can we still build on and edit the SCORM package in Lifter? That is a big no. In fact, I think about the custom LMSs I used to use with Suzuki and Ducati and some other companies. In fact, right now I'm working with the Marine Retailers Association, and they also use SCORM packages. But the editing on all those projects I ever worked on, the editing was always done in Articulate or Captivate or Rise or one of those SCORM authoring software platforms. And then it was exported as a zip file. And then that zip file was added to whatever the LMS site was. And of course, if I was updating or modifying a course, it would overwrite the existing zip file. So that's how I'm used to seeing it happen. I've never worked in a platform where I could directly alter or modify a SCORM package without having the course authoring software to do so. So, and if there's stuff out there like on a custom site somewhere that, somehow integrates with Articulate and it works natively or something, that's not something I've ever had access to. So it might exist, but I've never had that ability. All right. I was doing a lot of talking, not a lot of reading. What's Zach say here? He says, I knows that WP-LMS companies are working together to support standards more completely. Dude, that was a big announcement at WordCamp. At WordCamp, so LifterLMS and LearnDash and TutorLMS and a couple of others. If I forget their names, I apologize, right? If people actually watch these, but they all got together before that WordCamp and kind of had like a preliminary meeting about like, okay, so what would it look like if there were standards? Like what Stephanie's talking about is standards. SCORM is a set of standards in the e-learning field, especially for corporate learning. And then, the WordPress environment comes along and we're like, we want a course builder that does this. We want a course builder that does that. Some people call them chapters. Some people call them lessons. Some people call them instances, like whatever. And so there's an inconsistency, especially for the course creators among the different platforms. And so the idea there was like, how can all of these platform creators begin to create stuff that is more ubiquitous, some stuff that is more centered around a standard. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of cool. She says she'll check out the course. Can we still? And Stephanie, you must be Gen X because I say right on a lot too. I even say right on in my emails. I start an email with right on, period. And then I'll say whatever. So awesome. We're off to a pretty good start. But the problem is, well, we're only 22 minutes in. What do you want to talk about? We need to get people putting in some more questions.
Yeah, feel free to drop a question in the chat. Just looking through, is there any that we missed? I don't think so. We got everything. If I can come up with stuff to talk about, if Stephanie jumped in before I thought of something. Can we have customized emails that go out to learners for different courses and brands, needing to customize the from line, subject line, and the content? That's kind of the realm where you'd enter into CRM territory, where we would integrate with a third-party tool. So LifterLMS has some basic email capabilities out of the box, and I haven't done a screen share so far today, so I probably should. So
now's the time.
Now's the time. Let's show kind of what LifterLMS can do with email out of the box and where you want to go to the next level with it. So I pulled up my screen here. You might have found engagements emails in LifterLMS over here in the sidebar, and it offers you the ability to design some emails with some merge codes. But usually what these emails would be like a course completion. And it's not super sophisticated, unfortunately, but let me show you what it can do. We can do hi first name. And what this is doing.
And just a heads up, Will, your audio is fading in and out.
Oh, okay. I could talk louder. I mean, does that help?
Maybe you can start screaming, I guess, or maybe it's when you pull away from your mic, but I just want to let you know you're coming and going.
There's this droning sound outside of like they're pressure washing the sidewalk or something for the last few hours, and I can't sleep. And so, like, I think I drown my background noise out, and it drowns out my actual voice. So I'll just raise my volume. So there's a first name user short code, and there's a bunch of other merge codes you could use as well, like what the current date is that you could say, hey, you completed the course on this date. Congratulations to you. However you want to design this email, but you can add a subject line, and this usually goes to the student email. However, you can send it to the admin email as well. But what you're probably looking for is something more advanced than that, because what we do is we create the email just like I showed here, and then you do engagements, add new, create a trigger for that email to go out. But mostly what you're probably looking for is something that we would integrate with a CRM with. LifterLMS has integrations with MailChimp and ConvertKit within our Universe bundle package and Infinity bundle package. But what a lot of advanced users do, especially if you're going to be working with SCORM, you might be an advanced user of WordPress there. And so looking into CRMs, you have Fluent CRM, Groundhog CRM. These are ones that work within the backend of WordPress and have integrations with Lifter, or you might be looking at something like WP Fusion to integrate with ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft, whatever. You just have to choose a CRM that works with Lifter. A lot of them do, or with WP Fusion, which I think all of them do. And then those tools allow you to trigger events in your CRM based on things that happen inside the LMS. There you can design your campaigns. You can design your subject lines, your emails, your content, and everything, and trigger these automations in tailored ways based on what happens in your Lifter. Yeah, Kurt, you guys screen share?
Yeah, so this is a screen share of one of my demo sites that I managed to put Fluent CRM into because we did some content with Fluent CRM before. And so Fluent CRM integrates directly with LifterLMS. And so, if Fluent CRM Pro, I should say, so when you put Fluent CRM Pro into your website, it'll integrate directly with LifterLMS. And so then you can set the settings so that anyone that signs up and becomes a student automatically gets added as a contact. Not only that, but you can set up a thing where anyone that signs up for a specific course, or maybe you have the tag added in the registration form, but you can say we can add tags. So in this case, I have donor, alumni, and new student. But if someone signs up for a course and they get the tag new student, I could have an automation set up. So then I have automations here that would be like, hey, let's see if we do one right here. It would be like, hey, we've got a new tag. So let's add an action, and the CRM is apply the list or apply a tag. And then we could send a custom email or a sequence of emails based on them getting that tag. So a CRM is really powerful in that regard, because in her question, it was like based on company, based on subject, right? So based on subject line, content. So when you have courses and brands inside your site, and then you put that together with a CRM tool, you're able to segment your list based on how they sign up. So we have a custom fields option with LifterLMS. So let's say someone signs up and one of your required fields becomes company, and then it's if they select this company, they get this tag. When that tag is added, that automation would take over and send that sequence that you had built for anyone that signs up from that specific company. And so there's a lot of really cool things that you can put into place there, Stephanie, that would take an e-learning site to a whole other level, especially with marketing automations and upsells and sales funnels and all that kind of stuff. Will, that gets on. It's like what it's almost like the question earlier, like talk to us about business, right? And I can't help but think, like, sometimes I think I'm a problem solver. Like, I help people, like someone goes, oh, I want to do this. And I go, okay, well, these are the steps I would take to do that. I know that your brain works that way too, but I can't help but think about marketing. Like, what's it going to cost me to do this? What's going to be my conversion? How can I increase my conversions? What's my return on investment? What's this going to cost me? And I start working that kind of stuff out. When I look at tools like Groundhog or Fluent as a CRM tool that I could put into my website, and then I compare that to being part of Keep or Active Campaign or one of those paid CRM tools, the subscription to Fluent and Groundhog is relatively low if you have any kind of list at all, right? Because those other SaaS platforms, once your list grows, your expenses grow. And so if your conversions aren't high enough, you could go upside down if your list grows too quickly without having enough sales. So it's one of those things, like when we talk about business, it's like, okay, what's going to work best for you? I like putting Fluent into my website and then having a good SMTP server behind it, like Elastic Email or SendGrid or something like that. And I know there's a couple others that you like too, Will.
Yeah, I mean, they all work. When you do something like Fluent CRM versus Active Campaign or something that's hosted off your website with Fluent or Groundhog, you're putting it in the back end of your WordPress website. So now your back end WordPress, your server that your website's hosted on, needs to be able to support some additional functionality, like being able to reliably send, thousands of emails a day, which is not something that WordPress servers are usually for. But then you have SMTP to solve that. So yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, and there's some other benefits. For instance, if I have Fluent CRM and I map that through SendGrid, and I use the word map, so I can map my URL to that service. And so the emails that get sent, instead of being like postmaster.sendgrid/XYZ 1098, blah, 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 the email comes from, in my case, mañananomas.com/campaign/ the name of the campaign. And so I think that having a rooted URL in my email campaign actually kind of adds to all of that stuff, like domain authority and all those kinds of things. Like, I just think that that's a cleaner way to go. And when people receive an email from me and it says open in the browser and it comes up with a link that matches my website, I think there's a certain value to that. So I prefer to go in those directions.
Stephanie asked similar question for different brands and courses. Can we have multiple certificates that send on course completion? So with LifterLMS, you have one. I mean, you could just set up like 5 certificates to get awarded at the end of one course, but like really, there's a few creative ways we can do this. Like, one certificate per course is kind of what we recommend. So you could do a different course, and that might be worth considering when it comes to something like a CRM, because then you'll have a different tag applied for like different company name, different tag in the CRM. Like it might be nice to separate them, and it might even be a value add if you give the brand access to like a group or something. LifterLMS Groups add-on has a lot to offer in that capacity, where you can just give them access to see the reporting of their students. You can do something creative like that. But when it comes to automating certificates for courses and your previous question, it sounds like cloning the course and having separate automations for both might be the way to go. However, LifterLMS does have this custom fields add-on, which is kind of cool. So like if we were to collect on the sign-up form, billing information, if we were to edit our sign-up form and say like, which company are you with, we could put that on the certificate. We would just say, what is it called? A text field. Text from LifterLMS, and I'm using the LifterLMS custom fields add-on in the Infinity bundle for this. What company are you with? And then that would be asked on sign up, probably not at the top, but then we'll go down to certificates, and we can add a shortcode to our certificates to pull in whatever company they said they were with. I muted myself, so stopping my screen share, and then they will have the custom certificate based on the company. But that might not be what you're looking for. If you're looking to customize colors, pictures, and other things on the certificate, you might just consider cloning your whole program and running a separate program per company. And if you're selling into a company, I think that's pretty viable. People are like, I don't want to have a bunch of courses in the back end of my website, but I'm like, if each company is paying you like $1,000 or more, then like, why not?
Well, and the other thing to remember, especially with the cohort or the cloning, is that they don't have to be displayed in your membership catalog. So let's say I got a course on leadership, but then I sell 100 seats of that leadership course to ABC News. So then I would create a clone of that course called Leadership for ABC News, right? It'd be the same course, but it would have a different title, and it would be hidden from my course catalog. And when ABC News had that group listing in my website, they would invite everybody to that group, and they would automatically be enrolled in that custom course for them, Leadership for ABC News. And then by using the group, the leader of that group, whoever made the purchase at ABC News, they would have a visual on the front end of the website without having to go to the back end for reporting. How many people accepted the invitation to the course? How many people are making progress in the course? And what are their current grades within that course, if there's any grading? And so when people say, oh, I don't want to do too many clones, or I don't want to run cohorts because it clutters up the course catalog, just know that anything that you have in your course catalog or your membership catalog, you have the choice to have it be displayed or to be hidden. And if it's hidden, people still have access to it if they have direct access. So then the question is, how do the students get to the course if it's hidden? It's in their dashboard. So when a student signs into the website, they're going to go to their dashboard, and there's going to be one of the first things there is my courses and the course that they're enrolled in. So Leadership for ABC News would be the course that was on their dashboard, and they would click and go into that instance of that course. You see, Will, we ended up talking about business all day today so far. Shepo. I'm pretty sure the T is silent. I'm pretty sure it's Shepo. All right. So she says she's going to check out the course. She's in it. Right on. Can we do it? Exactly. Different brands, similar questions. And I think you already put that one in there, right? So we did that. And can we have different certificate attached to each course? Yes, that's where I was going with that. If you have a clone or a cohort, it's a separate course. So it could have a completely different certificate that goes with it. So you could customize the background, the logos, the imagery, You can design the certificates are completely customizable, so you can do whatever you want to do in there.
Yeah, you can see on this site I have one certificate per course. It's unlimited, so you can do as many as you'd like, and you can set them up with Lifter engagements. Lifter engagement system is pretty powerful. So this would say like certificate award for quick start course or something. I don't know if I have probably one word for quick start. So you could say the triggering event is student completes a course. The event, you select your course. Mine was LifterLMS Quick Start course. And then we want to award a certificate when they do that. And then we select which certificate we've designed that they get awarded. And that's all you have to do.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And it's automated. And the student can get a link to share it. If they want to share it on social media, they provide a link and it shares the certificate. You can turn off the sharing if you want to turn off the sharing. And they can download it as a PDF and print it, or they can download it as an image.
Yeah. There's a lot they could do with that. And can you show us some of the reporting?
No.
Oh, sorry. We clicked.
Okay, I'm with you. We're doing this together.
Let's see. Let's take a look at the reporting.
So,
go ahead.
In the last question you answered, you used a key word that it might be new to Stephanie. If she's coming from a custom built, custom SCORM platform, you said unlimited, and she might not have heard that correctly. Unlimited, Stephanie. There's no limit to courses, no limit to students. There's not a per licensing fee. The website is yours. So once you have LifterLMS installed on your website, you can have as many instructors, as many administrators, as many courses, as many lessons, as many students as you want. There are no limits. I got to be super clear with that, because one of the reasons that I came to WordPress and came to LifterLMS almost 9 years ago is because I was working for a corporation that was paying a per student licensing fee for active users. And then what was the term? Active users was someone that had been on the site in the last 45 days. And then there was the actual student listing, right? So it was a combination of student listing versus active users versus licensing versus my bill at the end of the quarter. And to tell you that it was 6 figures every quarter is not an exaggeration. So I said, there's got to be a better way. And I came to WordPress and I found Lifter, and I've been happy here ever since. With that, Will, I'm sorry to butt in, but she did respond back. So I think that was something that had to be said. Jump in with your reporting.
Yeah, for sure. So in addition to your unlimited students, you have unlimited reporting on those unlimited students. So WordPress stores a lot of information, like the LifterLMS code. It's a lot of information in the WordPress database, and it presents that information nicely here on the screen. And there's even more information that if you had a custom developer, you need some certain information, you could get that information from the database in here. I know that's been some of the most commonly requested custom work, is how do I get something in here, like an additional feature into the reporting. So reporting breaks down a lot of ways. You can look at your sales, you can look at quiz submissions. If there's a quiz that needs to be graded, you could look at your courses, or you could look at it on a student level. But let's take a look at the business budgeting course. So we can see an overview with some general statistics that usually aren't very important, but this is kind of cool to be like, oh, what's the average grade people are getting? What's the average progress? We can say, oh, people are usually getting stuck around this lesson or something like that. That's kind of useful for us to know. But more specifically, we can drill down into certain learners in our course and then see when they completed certain lessons. We can mark it as incomplete for them if we want them to redo it for some reason. We can see their grade on quizzes, we can see their grade on assignments, and we can just kind of follow each user's report card in this way on every one of the courses. So it's pretty cool.
And that is exportable as a CSV file.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff on here is, so if we were to take the business budgeting users, students, we can just export all of them into a CSV and see it in like a Google Sheet or a Word, or not Word, Excel. Yeah.
See, you're showing your age.
100%.
I see it in Google Sheets all the time.
Right. I could say, what is Apple's, like, Notes or something? I don't know. It's the green one that pops up on my screen when I try to Keynote. Nope, that's presentations. Apple has their own suite that I didn't even know about.
Yeah. Well, on another level, Stephanie, so I talk to people a lot in the SCORM world about a hybrid setup. And so a hybrid setup is, let's say you want the user, the student, to be able to pick their own learning pathway and pick chapters, and you want to be able to serve multiple lessons in one window and all those benefits of SCORM. Let's say that you want to do that, but you don't want to have the reporting report to some third-party site and sync with LifterLMS. And that would be GrassBlade. So GrassBlade has two products. One is GrassBlade that displays the SCORM content on your site, and the other is GrassBlade LRS, which is the learning record store, which records all the actions of the SCORM package and then takes that reporting and syncs it to LifterLMS reporting, that stuff that Will was just showing you. But let's say that you don't want to do that. Let's say you just want to show the SCORM content, but you don't want to have that third-party reporting system. What I recommend is this hybrid example, where you still put the SCORM learning content in place, but you don't leave your quizzes and knowledge checks in the SCORM package. Instead, you would use the LifterLMS native quizzing, and then all of the quizzing and the knowledge checks and all that stuff will be done in the LifterLMS side of it, and all of that reporting goes direct to reporting. And so that's one way where you can say, okay, I want to simplify my SCORM experience. I want the student to have the experience of the high-level interactivity that SCORM presents, but I want to have simple knowledge checks and quizzing that reports directly to LifterLMS reporting. The other side of the coin, though, is if you're using a SCORM package and your, true, false, interactivities, all these things are happening in your SCORM package, and there's stuff there that you really want to track, you have two options. One is you can use that GrassBlade Learning Record Store, which takes those activities and records them on a third-party site and then syncs with LifterLMS. So you could always go to that third-party site and look at whatever that specific reporting is that you're looking for that's not part of LifterLMS reporting. Or you could take that advanced reporting from the Learning Record Store, and you could have it custom developed to display and synchronized with LifterLMS reporting natively in the site. That was a long answer. I'm sorry. There was a lot going on there. And for folks that are new to WordPress or new to LifterLMS, please know I'm not trying to make this complicated, but when you come to us with kind of an advanced question like SCORM, I want to make sure that we give a full answer.
Stephanie did ask, we have pre-quiz and post-quiz a gauge of what they learned, need to pull results, easy compared grades within course.
Yeah, I have folks that do this right now. I have folks that actually use LifterLMS for a live workshop presentation. So they don't actually put the learning content in SCORM or even in our website. They put the learning content is done live, like through Zoom or whereby.com, something like that. But they do what they call them assessments. So they do a pre-assessment and they do a post-assessment. And in order to do the pre-assessment and the post-assessment, they are using the LifterLMS course and lesson structure, and they're labeling the first section pre-assessment, and then they're labeling the middle section live workshop, and then they're labeling the third section as the post-assessment. And then each of those sections have a lesson that is put into that section, and they access the pre-assessment as a quiz. They access the live workshop through a link in the lesson page, and then they do the post-assessment when they're done. So in that situation, they're using the LifterLMS course and lesson structure, kind of out of the box thinking, but it all works very well and it's very structured for the learner, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then we could rebuild the course in LifterLMS. We're a full course builder, right?
Oh yeah.
Totally. I would recommend doing that if you can. The question is like, what kind of content are you doing with Articulate 360 and SCORM? Because like, can what you're doing be recreated in WordPress with like, I don't know what the content looks like, but a lot of that stuff can get pretty advanced outside of what WordPress can do without SCORM.
Yeah, if you're doing, flip cards and match the images and lots of animations and stuff, trying to get that into, recreate that in a Lifter-esque way can have its challenges or its timelines. I'm just going to be very direct, Stephanie, and this is why I take SCORM so seriously. And the reason I'm an advocate for WordPress in this regard. I recognize that companies have paid a tremendous amount of money to develop the SCORM content. So, like in the case of my old company, they literally had millions of dollars wrapped up in developing these SCORM packages. So they weren't in a position as vice presidents and presidents to say, "Hey, let's just delete that and start over," or let's pay thousands of dollars to have that content transcribed, put into a different format. And so that's why I think knowing how to put the SCORM into the website is so valuable. But if someone's at the beginning stages, you've got 1 or 2 courses done in SCORM and you've got 10 more to go, I think it's a really good opportunity to go, wait a minute, is there a simpler, more affordable, efficient way to do this? And I will tell you hundreds of times over and over again that if you could bypass SCORM and go direct to the course builder and LifterLMS, you'll get a great product. You really will get a great product. It'll be efficient. You'll save time. You'll make more money. SCORM to me is, and please don't take this personal, but SCORM to me is horribly outdated for what it is. I mean, a lot of those standards came from like 2002, 2004, but companies got locked into it early because that's what was available back then. And so when you look at Articulate 360, I think is what, $3,000 a year for a single license. So when I ran my learning division at my corporate job, I had 6 people on that license. So that's 6 times 3. That's $18,000 that I'm in as a company before I make one single piece of content. And then a typical SCORM package would take me about 250 to 300 hours of labor to produce. Plus I had to compensate the subject matter experts and the photographers and the videographers and the people that supplied the content to be able to amass and build the course. So when I take a look at that structure and I say, could I duplicate this effort if I had the subject matter expert, the photo, the video, and the text? Could I build that in LifterLMS? Absolutely, because you can put all that content in there. You can even put in, videos, animations, GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to call them, PowerPoints, downloadable PDFs, white papers, all of that can go into the course structure in LifterLMS in a very engaging way.
Yeah. I think sometimes SCORM creates like a really interesting experience where it's all curated by the person designing the content. It's very like custom, but it's, I don't feel like it's super practical for people who aren't making like 20 grand or more off of this content they're making. Like you spend 25 hours building a SCORM thing and you're not making like a killing on that, then it's like, we might not need to do that. We might be able to make like different types of content. And so I think there's opportunities for that.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, dude. I think we've beat the drum on that one pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like I said, in some cases you're stuck with it. And if you're stuck with it, we've got a great option to get you to the next step and save you some money. But if you've got the option to go into the regular course builder, then yeah, just have at it. Her next question is a great question. It says, can we use one Lifter subscription on multiple websites? Mm-hmm. First off, LifterLMS.com has a pricing link. You can go to it. I'm going to be honest. That pricing page has gotten so much better over the last couple of years. It used to confuse me. Now I can look at it and it makes a lot of sense now. We have a free version, which a lot of people are like, what do you mean it's free? The free version is incredibly powerful, especially if you're building content that's going to be used internally, like on a subdomain for a company. Only certain people are going to access that, and you're not marketing, branding, or doing things with it. That free platform is phenomenal. But we do have the Universe bundle, and the Universe bundle comes with some extra doodads, right? So like a little bit for marketing and then for e-commerce, so you can sell stuff, but it also gives you the ability to put it on up to 5 websites, 5 active websites. So you could have an active website and a staging site, right? And so those are considered the same use. The Infinity bundle, that's what attracted me to this deal a long time ago, Stephanie, was the Infinity bundle is unlimited. I love that word unlimited. So the unlimited version, right, of Infinity gives me all of the add-ons. So anything that LifterLMS makes to add to the platform, I get access to that, and I can put it on as many websites as I choose. And that to me as an agency is super attractive. because I have an agency where I create these types of websites for other businesses. And so because I'm an Infinity Bundle user, I have the ability to put this content into other people's websites. What to note there, if you're an agency, if you're someone that does this for a living, right, and you're trying to make this work, it's a great way to go. But remember, there's only 3 support accounts that come with the Infinity Bundle. So if you have the Infinity Bundle and you put it on 50 websites as an agency, you want to have something on the back end where you say, hey, give me a monthly support stipend or something to be your support person, because they don't have LifterLMS support. That support is tied to your license, unless you give them one of your 3 accounts. And so just something to keep in mind, right? Might as well cover it while we're here. I love the idea of, hey, if you host with me, I can build that for you. I can build that, and then you can pay me a maintenance fee every month. I'll update your plugins, and I'm here if you have any questions. And there's a value to that, and it creates another vertical for me.
Yeah, for sure. I love software you can resell and support.
The support's the big thing, I think. And I'm stepping all over you, so I apologize. Well, I butt right in. Look at that. I'm learning from somebody else, you know who. The idea that all of this stuff is available, all this stuff is floating around out in the ether, and there's all these people that think they know, but they don't know, and they need to have an expert they can turn to. There needs to be a personality. There needs to be an authentic person behind stuff sometimes. And I think that's one of the benefits that being an Infinity Bundle user gives me. Like, someone, like, they don't want to just reach out on Facebook anonymously and get support. They want to send an email or make a phone call or jump on a Zoom call. And I know that you're an expert at jumping on Zoom calls with clients, so you certainly understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I prefer Zoom, and LifterLMS does offer that. I don't know if other LMS companies do. I think that might be something unique, maybe not. But I feel like that's been the thing, is like the LifterLMS community for a while, and the focus on the learner results first. Like a lot of tech we find online now is just like dumping out features. Like, oh, this feature, that's where we built it. But it's like, how stable is this? Is this something we could use long term? Is this like, does it have other tangential features that work for us? And what's like the theory and functionality behind why this was built? And I think that Lifter has a really nice emphasis on those things. And $750 a year for Infinity Bundle. It's $750 for the first year. It's actually a little cheaper if you use the 55% off that Kurt was talking about, AMA-gift, lifterlms.com/AMA-gift. So yeah, it's $750 for the first year, maybe a little less if you use that discount I just said, and then it's like $1,500 the following. Like, it renews at that full price.
Yeah, and we should point out, I think that this is I don't even know if I should say it on the call, dude. Should I say it on the call?
I say everything on the call.
You say everything on the call. All right, I'm going to put the link in again for the discount. We have that lifetime deal on the pricing page. We don't really actively promote it too much, because when you give lifetime licenses to things, sometimes it's not the best decision. But it says here, lifetime LifterLMS Infinity Bundle licenses available, $10,000, and now it's marked down to $5,000, right? Because we're having that half price sale. But if you use that coupon that I gave you instead, that's 55% off. That'd be the way to go. So let me just be bold, Stephanie. If you're in business, you're making it for multiple brands, and you're going to do this for more than a year or two, you're better off to get the lifetime deal, have the Infinity Bundle. LifterLMS is 10 years old. It's continuing to add features every year. We added like 4 features last year. So yeah, I'm hard pressed not to recommend the lifetime deal if you're in that market space.
And you offer expert help when we buy the Infinity Bundle, like one-on-one sessions. We don't offer one-to-one sessions with the Infinity Bundle. We do have our mastermind call. We'll be starting about an hour and 5 minutes from now. It's going to be the best place to go. Is you can hop on with me and Kurt and sometimes Chris live in Zoom, and then also a bunch of other LifterLMS power users who know a lot of great things and use a lot of great products. So that group Zoom call once a week, an hour after this call, is probably the best way to go. And then there is just the support ticketing system. You can get a lot of great technical solutions there. If there's anything we can't solve on the call, which is pretty rare, we'll refer you over to tech support. But yeah, giving the Infinity Bundle gets you access to all that stuff.
Yeah. And if you actually wanted to hire support, like you wanted to hire a professional to help you build stuff or to customize things or custom code or even do some one-on-one training, you could always hire people through our vetted list of experts. So that link's on screen right now, lifterlms.com/experts. You'll see a whole list of people there, and there's a company called Codable there. God, there's just a ton of folks that are able to assist and help with whatever your specialty is.
Totally.
Dang, dude. Can you believe it? It is 56 minutes past the hour already. Between Stephanie and the questions we got before the call and Zach being on the call, you guys have done a great job of sucking up this time. This has been great.
Yeah.
Higher support. Yes, that part. Yeah, that's it's really cool that the experts listing has people. You'll read the descriptions for the different experts listed. People have different specialties. Some folks might say that they're SCORM experts, some are design experts, some work with customizations of plugins or customizations of data. But you can see that, and we all list our rates in there as well, Stephanie. So feel free to browse that list of experts, see who meets your needs the best, and then just reach out.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we've already posted up the 55% off coupon. I'm pretty glad that we got that nailed when we did, because that just seemed to flow pretty naturally there. Oh, Zach's a Codable expert. I didn't realize that. I probably do know that, Zach. I'm just not smart enough live on a call to put the two together. But yeah, Zach is a Codable expert. And we link Codable direct on the experts page. So Codable, if you've never heard of Codable before, it is a gathering, a group of hundreds of experts, and they have kind of a bidding process, which, so if you have something specific that you want to get done, they have a bidding process that I think is incredibly fair. It's fair to the provider and super fair to the customer. And so that's certainly worth taking a look at.
Yeah.
Keep things on a budget.
And I'm not sure if you're interested, Zach, or if it's allowed through Codable, but it probably is. You could submit your own LifterLMS experts listing too. Just put in like your name, your bio, your rates, your minimum project, a couple example sites you built, and that gives people a way to get in touch with you directly from the Lifter website if they're looking for help.
Ah, sweet. Well, Will, we have 2 minutes left. Tell me, where can people get a hold of you?
I think the best way is to find me on YouTube. I've got my YouTube Magic Will Middleton. Like WPCourseGuide.com is the YouTube channel, and you can find me on there doing lifter tutorials and stuff. How about you, Kurt?
Well, Mañana No Mas is the name of my agency, and so anything that's Mañana No Mas online typically leads to me. And then LinkedIn. I'm super active on LinkedIn. I was a little upset today with StreamYard and LinkedIn apparently had some kind of falling out, because it says that the LinkedIn application has been discontinued, and there was no warning. It just happened this morning. So we're not broadcasting the LinkedIn today on this broadcast, and the live that I did earlier today did not go to LinkedIn, and the podcast I did with WP Tonic today did not go to LinkedIn. So, and I'm a huge LinkedIn advocate, so I was really bummed to see that something's happened there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Just me being the ambassador I am for WordPress, that's another perfect example of why you need to be decentralized. It's a perfect example of why you need some kind of digital autonomy where you own your own space and you develop your own platform. You might have more connections on LinkedIn, you might have more connections on YouTube, you might have more connections on Facebook, but you still need that home base that you own, that has your content, your branding. And then, I use those other social things as a net to bring them to my products. But when you look at things like without warning, just being deprecated or discontinued, or if you're in the Google space, do you remember Google Circles?
No.
Or Google Plus?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you don't. 450 million users, and they just turned it off one day. Like, yeah, we're done with this. It doesn't work. Right. So, yeah, I'm a real big advocate in like owning your space and being where you're at. And with that, folks, we are at the top of the hour. I encourage you, if you've seen anything in this broadcast where you're like, I should probably check this out, go to LifterLMS.com. Go ahead and check it out. The links to pricing are in there. There's nothing hidden. And right now, you'll see that everything's like 50% off. So this is the time to go. And if you want to use the LifterLMS /AMA-gift, that's good for 55% off. Folks, we are out. Have yourself a wonderful day, and we will see you next week.